Good day, ladies and gentlemen. This is Dr. Frel, your professor. Hello class, good morning. Our next topic would be on leadership and leadership styles. But first, we have to define leadership. It is a function of knowing yourself, of having a vision that is well communicated, building trust among colleagues, and taking effective action to realize your own leadership potential. So by this definition, class, it is as if leadership starts with ourself, of having our own vision that is communicated to our subordinates, and at the same time building trust with our colleagues, and of course taking appropriate actions, in order to realize your leadership potentials or capacities. Now, in defining a leader, will you think of a leader that you work for or a leader that you have observed? What does this person do, and what qualities that this person have that make you admire him or her as a leader? I would like to pose this question. Are leaders born or bred? So we will just open this question with your answers when we conduct our Google meeting. Another question is, do we need leaders? Maybe your answer will vary depending on what leadership style that you believe in. So now let's move with the different leadership styles. There are 5 generally accepted leadership styles that includes autocratic or authoritarian style, the bureaucratic style, the democratic style, the laissez-faire style, and the situational style. Now let's discuss these different styles one at a time, and we will start with the autocratic or the authoritarian style of leadership. So in this style, the manager retains power. Okay, this we call the classical approach in leadership. And that manager has the decision-making authority. In short, all decisions come from him. And in making decisions, the manager does not consult the employees for some inputs before he makes the decision. But the subordinates are expected to obey orders without explanations why they are obeying these orders. And in cases where they give some motivations, then these motivations are being provided through structured rewards and punishment, or those which are being used, since this form of or this leadership style have been conceived. In short, rewards and punishment are all in accordance with some observed motivations that are being practiced in the organization. So in short, in this style of leadership, the leaders do not create followers, but they create more leaders. Now, my question is, when are you going to use this autocratic form or this autocratic style of leadership? This is most applicable when you have new and untrained employees in the organization or in the school, or if you see that or observe that the employees or the teachers are not motivated to work, or these teachers do not respond to any other leadership style that you have tried, or in business, or even in the service sector. That is, if there's a need for a high volume production, no, and you can impose this, or you can use this form of leadership. And another thing is, in cases where there is limited time for decision making, or in cases where the manager's power is being challenged by an employee. So those are suggested instances where autocratic style of leadership can be employed. So please remember this quotation, that a man is only a leader when a follower stands beside him. Then the second leadership style is the bureaucratic style. This is where the manager or the leader manages by the book. In short, everything must be done according to the procedure or the policy which are being implemented. If it is not covered by the book, the manager always refer to those next level above him or her. He always consult those higher ups for his decision, because he is often referring to the policy or to the procedure, okay, as if all of his actions are being done by the book. So this is especially true with police officer who are working more than their leader. So by this, we can say that leadership is the art of getting someone else to do something you want done because he wants to do it. So why we call bureaucratic leader manages by the book? It's because manager following this style follows rules and formalities of the organization. And because of that, he does not believe in new ideas from colleagues, especially from those next in line below him or her. And he always wants his subordinates to follow all his orders. And because of that, this style of leadership may result in red tapeism and unwanted paperwork, because you always stick by the book, okay? And this is usually practiced in universities or hospitals or banks, and the government usually require this type of leader to ensure quality, or to increase security, and or to decrease corruption, because it's always the formalities of the organization, through including its rules, are always being consulted before a decision can be made in this type of leadership. So my question now is, when are you going to use a bureaucratic style of leadership? That is especially during or when employees are performing routine tasks, or if the organization need for standards or procedures to be followed, or if you have the use of dangerous or delicate equipments, the reason why you have to stick by the book or by the manual, and or if it concerns the safety or the security training being conducted, or if the task requires handling of cash. So you have to be careful with the rules or with the policies regarding the handling of cash. So by this, I would like to leave this saying that an army of sheep led by a lion is better than an army of lions led by a sheep. Now let's continue class with the third leadership style, which is the democratic style. This leadership style promotes the sharing of responsibility, the exercise of delegation, and continual consultation between the manager or the leader and the subordinate. So how these are being done? The manager seeks consultation on all major issues and decisions in the organization or in the school, no? And he effectively delegate tasks to subordinates and give them full control and responsibility of those tasks. And at the same time, the manager welcomes feedback on the results of initiative in the work environment. And at the same time, he encourages others to become leaders and be involved, especially in leadership development. So this democratic style is often referred to as participative style. It's because employees are informed of what is happening in the organization or in the school, and there is shared decision making and problem solving responsibilities among those concerned. And the manager only serves as a coach, no, who has all having the final say. But before that, he gathers information from all members, no, prior to decision making. So with this, I would like to leave this quotation: leadership is action, not position. Further, no, the leader, no, or the manager help employees evaluate their own performance, no, and allows employees to establish their own goals, no, in the organization. At the same time, he encourages employees to grow, no, on the job and be promoted if there will be chances for promotion. And of course, he knows to recognize and encourage the achievement, no, of the employees, and by that he can produce high quality and high quantity of work for a long period of time. With this, I would like to leave this quotation: true leadership must be for the benefit of the followers, not the enrichment of the leaders. So my next question is when to use the democratic style of leadership. This is when there's a need to keep employees informed of what is happening in the organization or in the school, no? And another is to encourage the employees or teachers to have share, no, or part in the decision making or in solving problem. And this is also used if there's a need to provide opportunities for the employees or teachers to develop a high sense of personal growth and job satisfaction, and if there's a need, no, to have lots of inputs in solving, no, complex problems that the school or the organization is experiencing or facing. And another is to encourage, no, team building and participation among the employees or the teachers in the organization. Okay, so out of this, I will be leaving this saying that management is doing things right while leadership is doing the right things. Now we have the laissez-faire leadership style. This is actually a French phrase meaning leave it be, and it is used to describe a leader who leaves his or her colleagues to get on with their work. This style is largely a hands-off view that tends to minimize the amount of direction and face time required. So, as I said earlier, no, laissez-faire is also known as hands-off style, where there is very little or no direction from the manager, no, of an organization or school, no, but it gives the followers as much as freedom as possible in performing their task or in solving their problem. And almost all authority or power is now given to the followers or the subordinates or the teachers, no? And it is up to the followers or the teachers to determine their goals, to make their decisions, and to resolve problems on their own. So I will be leaving the saying that leaders think and talk about the solutions, while followers think and talk about the problems. So again, in this style of leadership, the laissez-faire, the leader is passive, no, or inactive. It's because he only acts as a constant man. Example, no, he will just provide information and resources to his subordinates, and the subordinates will just do their own thing, no. It's because he believes that the subordinate will work best if they are left alone. So, because of that, he provides them complete freedom, no, to take their own decisions, and allows them to set their own goals and to solve problems on their own. So, in effect, this style of leadership produces no leadership or supervision efforts from the manager, which may, no, which may lead to poor production or lack of control and increasing cost, no, for the organization or for the school. So, in short, can be generalized as for the leader saying, "You two take care of the problem while I go." So, when to use this laissez-faire style, there might be instances where a manager can also use this style of leadership. That is when the employees or the teachers are highly skilled, experienced, and educated. So there's no need for the manager to constantly check on the employees because they are good, because they are highly skilled, they are highly experienced and highly educated. Another is in cases where, no, the employees have pride in the work and the drive to do it successfully on their own. Good if you have this kind of employees or teachers where they take pride in teaching, and they have that drive to do the teaching works successfully with very minimal intervention from the supervisors or the manager. And if, no, they are outside experts, no, such as staff specialists or consultants that are being used or being consulted or hired, no, to do the task in the school or in the organization. And one thing more, that is, if you employees or the teachers are trustworthy enough and are experienced enough to do their work, to do their thing on their own, no, in the absence of the supervisor or the manager. So in this case, class, remember that communication is the real work of leadership. And finally, class, we have the fifth style. We called it the situational style of leadership. This is where leader uses different style in different situations. He changes, no, his style depending on or according to what the situation calls for. So sometimes he might be autocratic or consultative or participative or any other styles of leadership that he think best suited to solve the problem, or most suited to the situation at hand. So nowadays, most managers use this style of leadership. So by that, we can now define leadership in a general sense, stating that each one of us serve as a leader, and one leader creates another and another ad infinitum, just as one candle's flame lights another and another, until the once impenetrable darkness had turned to brilliant light. Now class, I have included few slides as to an illustration of a boss versus a leader. Okay, so on the first part of the slide you can, on this part of the slide you can see that a boss has that attitude of telling the employees or subordinates to do the thing to realize the mission, while a leader works with the team or with the subordinates in achieving the mission of the organization. Then next is that the boss always say I, in all of his speeches or in all of his pronouncement, while a leader always say we in dealing with the activities in the organization, in making decisions, or whenever he's talking about the organization, he always say we. Then another is the boss always give command to the subordinates, while a leader always ask for opinion from the subordinates of how things should be done, or how things should be, how problems should be solved. Then next is that the boss say go to his subordinates if things have to be done, while a leader may say let's go to the subordinates and they work hand in hand. Then we have the boss know how it is being done. He just say that he knows how this is to be done, while a leader always say show how things is to be done to the subordinates. And then as to the result of the undertakings, or as to the performance of the organization and the school, the boss always take credit of the performance or of the result of the undertaking, while the leader always give credit to whom credit is due. And next is that the boss abuses the people in the organization, not necessarily physically abusing the people, but as if the subordinates felt that they are being abused throughout their working days or working time in the organization, while a leader develop his people to be effective workers or employees or leaders themselves. Okay, so that would be all class for our discussion regarding the second topic for the course. And for your activity class, discuss the advantages and disadvantages of the different leadership styles. And after discussing this, you have to write a reflection paper about your preferred leadership style. Please include the reasons of your style preference. And again, class, thank you for watching this video. Please post your activity in the Google Classroom. That would be all. This is your professor, See you in the next video.